Peace and greetings. Peace and greetings. I know you like, what in the world is going on, Yud? I want to do a quick testimony. I want to do a quick testimony about myself and me meeting my mentor. I know I never said this to you guys before, but I just want to share part of my life to let you know when, like the son said, who was more blind than me? Who was more blind than me? Like the son said, who was more blind than him? Being who he was, and he was on the earth doing the things he was doing, and he was supposed to be Yahweh, or he is Yahweh. Who was more blind than him? So I tell you, who was more blind than me as well? You know, I am Yud, and I'm on the earth doing the stuff I'm doing. Let me take this off. Hold on. I know. But check this out. Man. Just a quick testimony. I was in a situation to where it was like Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. You know, it wasn't exactly the same as that, but it was kind of, you know, with them being in the furnace, the fire. I found myself in a predicament the same way with two other people, you know, my brothers. Just like they were considered brothers, it was me, my two brothers was in a situation to where a Caucasian male was shot in the face. Okay. And we was on a trial. And before I go there, I want to tell you that I always been a Bible going person, God fearing person, but still in the world doing the things that, you know, he's doing. This is my meeting YahwehBenYahweh in its fullest. I heard of YahwehBenYahweh before. My older brother was following Yahweh, and my mom, you know, they were into Yahweh, but me, it wasn't too, because when I kind of grew up, I was separated. I was put with another family, and then brought back to my family, and, you know, it was always off and on, you know, and man, it was all part of Yahweh teaching me the different avenues of life and the different people, different nationalities and things like that. I didn't know it at the time, but I found out. So here's the thing. A young man, a Caucasian man, was shot in the face. And I ended up finding myself on trial with two brothers. And they were saying that I was the shooter, and they were co-defendants, and here it is that we had to prove our case, you know, and the town that we were in was called Courtland. I want you to pay attention to that. Courtland. Court. And it's a land. All right. So this town is like full of Caucasians. And I just want to let you know the victim was Caucasian. And here it is. We had a jury that had to be picked, and they were all Caucasians. Nobody of our nationality or anything on the jury. The judge was Caucasian. Our lawyers were Caucasian. And it was like all over the news. And they said it was no hope for us. We should have just took a guilty plea and just, you know, settle for what was to happen with us. All right. And my brothers was doing what they was doing. I was following what I was being taught in my earlier years by my parents, and the family that I went and lived in was Christian, and learned about the Bible and everything. So I was steady saying Jesus Christ, help, God help, you know, looking to see what to do, praying and everything. But it wasn't looking too bright and too good, you know. So I dealt with some of the Muslim brothers and everything and was talking with them and everything, but it wasn't going too good that direction. And it just seemed like things was just getting worse and worse. But then, my mother talked to me, and my mother said to me when she came to visit me, she said, I want you to really go back to the things that I was trying to teach you and show you. And she gave me YahwehBenYahweh's book. I'll never forget it. And she said to me, just read and study. And I finally, through all of this stuff, my mindset back then and everything, sat in my cell and just started reading. And as I kept reading and reading and reading, and I started talking to my other brother and everything, and was like, let's start, holding little classes and stuff. And we had some of the other brothers and stuff on the tier, and even Caucasians with us, not that that's a big thing, but I'm just letting you know the ingredients of things. So they came and started having classes with us and everything. We would sit there in our cell block and just start talking and everything. And things started looking different, started praising the name Yahweh, saying the name Yahweh, just talking about YahwehBenYahweh and teachings and the things that he was sharing from his books and everything. And then I got a hold of the You're Not a Nigger book, and we was reading that before I got locked up. I glanced through it, but never really, because my mother and them was doing, I was just glanced through it. But I really had the time. So what he did was sit me down so that I can really have the time to get this information and learn from him. You hear me? Learn from him. And all of this transpired so that I can have a moment. I was like Jacob when everybody left away from him as he was going to Esau, and then he wrestled with the angel. So finally, he was able to get me in a predicament, in a fearful predicament, like Jacob was with his brother, a fearful predicament to where he was able to sit down and back and forth with this angel about the name and everything. And, it was YahwehBenYahweh. And as I did that, can you just understand this? We went from no hope to all hope is happening, and praising the name Yahweh, and the news media right there, and they talked so much bad about us and everything, and videotaping, asking, did we have any comments? Now that we have been, set free and got a not guilty, verdict and everything. We was all dressed in white suits, and had our diadems on and everything in there. And we was practically the only black thing in there, because our suits was even white. Everything was white in there. Even our suits was white. So, Yahweh gave us victory back in 1996. And it was a great joy. And when I came out of there, I said, you know what? You are my king. You are my king. And I said, I'm going to let the whole world know you are my king. And I put on garments my mother and them had made for me, and I went to the neighborhood, the block that I was out there hanging on with all the dealers and thugs and everything out there. And I had my little radio with me, and I brought it out there, and I was playing Sister Ephrona's song. I'll never forget it. Sister Ephrona's song. And I turned it all the way up with her singing, you are my king, my everlasting. I want to let the whole world know. The whole world know. And here I am today, letting the whole world know. But I first had to let them know what I was raised from, and that Yahweh had a hold on me. That his hand came and took me. His hand, his yud, grabbed me and brought me out. You are my king. You are my king. Everlasting. My everlasting love. I'm gonna lift my voice and sing until the whole world I've been born again. You are my king. You are my king. My everlasting love.
to see that you abide in me. Yeah. You are everything, and everything to me is you. There's a yearning in my soul, Yahweh, that testifies of this truth. 'Cause when you look at me, in your eyes